Welcome back everybody to the Blackjack Battle Royale Week 2. We're going to go over our new cards for this week. Without further ado, let's get started. Starting us off at the Alexander table, we have from last week, Greedy Shops, Tough Scaling, The Gambler, and Thamasan Heirloom. The new cards this week start with Chaotic Characters, which cancels out Transcendent Characters from last week, Magicite Skip, Artificial Flavor Only, and the Berserker. Chaotic Characters means characters' starting stats will be between 10 and 200% of their original values. Magicite Skip allows KT Skip to happen after finding 3 extra Espers beyond Final Kefka requirements. Artificial Flavor Only means no characters will learn Natural Magic, and the Berserker means one of your starting characters will always be Umaro. Now over at the Bahamut table, from last week we still have Thief's Gambit, Far Horizon, the Monk, and Countdown. Our new ones for this week are No Free Lunch, Classic Curse, and the Rune Knight. No Free Lunch removes character and Esper rewards from the Auction House, Collapsing House, Figaro Castle Throne, Gao's Father's House, Klingen Inn, Narsh Weapon Shop, Sealed Gate, and South Figaro Basement. Pretty much any check that's considered a free check, hence No Free Lunch. Classic Curse means your cursed shield will take between 1 and 32 battles to decurse. Paladin shields cannot be otherwise obtained. And the Rune Knight ensures one of your starting characters will always be Celeste with Runic. Moving over to the Carbuncle table, from last week we have the Magitech Elite, One Pair, the Rune Knight, Random Bosses, and Potent Espers. New ones for this week include Feeble Characters, Dragon's Horizon, Cheap Shops, and Overflow Skip. Feeble Characters has our characters' starting stats between 60 to 90% of their original values. Dragon's Horizon unlocks Final Kefka with 6 characters, 9 Espers, and defeating 4 dragons. Cheap Shops has item prices between 30 to 80% of their original values, and shop content is shuffled between shops and then have a 10% chance to be randomized. Overflow Skip unlocks Kefka Tower's Skip with finding either 3 extra characters or 3 extra Espers beyond Final Kefka requirements. Moving on to Fenrir, from last week we still have River Mastery and Mixed Dragons. Our new cards this week include Far Horizon, the Monk, Discount Magic, Glass Cannons, and Tiered Chests. Far Horizon unlocks Final Kefka after finding 8 characters and 12 Espers. The Monk ensures that one of your starting characters will always be Sabin with Blitz. Discount Magic has spells cost between 25 to 75% of their original cost. Glass Cannons overrules last week's Tough Scaling. It has enemies and bosses gain 4 levels for each character recruited, Esper acquired, and dragon defeated. Enemy and boss HP/MP scales 1 times, and enemy and boss EXP/GP scales for 2.5. Enemies scale to level 70. And tiered chests means that chest contents are categorized by tier and chosen at random. Higher tier items and equipment are less likely to be chosen. Meanwhile, the Maduin table has quite a fat hand to look at. From last week, they have the Monk, Discount Magic, River Mastery, Pathetic Characters, and the Machinist. New to their table this week is No Free Lunch, Mage's Hunt, Mirror Match, and Cheap Shops. No Free Lunch removes character and Esper rewards from Auction House, Collapsing House, Figaro Castle Throne, Gao's Father House, Klingen Inn, Narsh Weapon Shop, Sealed Gate, and South Figaro Basement. Mage's Hunt adds the objective to grant all characters plus 20 magic power by defeating 4 dragons. Mirror Match has enemy and boss levels HP and MP, EXP, and GP rewarded, scaled equal to 1 times the highest level in your party. Enemies scale to level 50. Cheap Shops has item prices between 30 to 80% of their original values. Shop content is shuffled between shops and then have a 10% chance to be randomized. Over at the Odin table we have another big hand. From last week we have Dragon's Horizon, the Ninja, Mirror Match, Samurai Dream, and Cloudborn Mastery. The new ones for this week include Random Bosses, Transcendent Characters, Thief's Hunt, and Meritorious Gear. With random bosses will be randomized with possible repeats. Transcendent Characters means that characters' starting stats will be between 140 and 200% of their original values. Thief's Hunt adds the objective to grant all characters plus 20 speed by defeating 4 dragons, and Meritorious Gear has our characters having a 100% chance of being able to equip all equipment and relics. And onto the Palidor table. From last week, we have the Blade Master, Dragon's Raiment, the Berserker, No Toys, and Balanced Gear. New cards for this week include Chaos Magic, Sold Out Shops, Stronger Commands, and Samurai Nightmare. Chaos Magic has spells cost between 25 to 175% of their original cost. Sold Out Shops means shops are empty. Prices are 50 to 150% of their original value, and items sell for an eighth of their price. Stronger Commands has commands as random unique commands and excludes Possess, Control, Runic, Sketch, Steal, and GP Rain. Samurai Nightmare adds the objective to learn 8 sword techs by completing the Magitech Factory finish check. And moving on to Ragnarok with another full table, we have from last week Shuffled Statues, Finality, Austere Start, Random Commands, and Sentry Bosses. New cards this week include Friends Skip, the Blade Master, Samurai Dream, and Wither. Friend Skip allows us to unlock Kefka Tower Skip by finding 3 extra characters beyond final Kefka requirements. The Blade Master ensures that one of our starting characters will always be Sabin with Sword Tech. Samurai Dream adds the objective to learn 8 Sword Techs by completing the Doma Dream Awaken check. And Wither has all of our characters afflicted with auto seizure. And onto the Starlet table, another full table. From last week we've got Vanilla Shops, the Dragoon, Overflow Skip, the Feral Youth, and Vanilla Gear. Our new cards for this week are Fighter's Hunt, Eclipse, Big Blue, and Random Bosses. Fighter's Hunt adds the objective to grant all characters plus 20 Vigor by defeating 4 dragons. Eclipse means Illuminas will not appear in the Colosseum, auction house, shops, chests, or events. Big Blue makes Ultima available to learn but has a base cost of 254 MP. Economizer and Gold Hairpin both affect this value. Random Bosses has bosses randomized with possible repeats. And now onto the Tri-Talk table, we have from last week Elder Worms, the Berserker, NPC Zapper, Potent Espers, and Transcendent Characters. And new to this table this week is Apocalyptic Upgrade, Boss Skip, and the Dragoon. Apocalyptic Upgrade adds the objective to grant Magitech Upgrade by completing the Floating Continent Escape check. Boss Skip unlocks Kefka Tower Skip after defeating 12 unique bosses, and the Dragoon ensures one of your starting characters will always be Edgar with Jump. And last but certainly not least, we have our Lagomorph Lounge. From last week we have Scaled Chests, the Gambler, Vanilla Bosses, Cecil's Delight, and Far Horizon. New cards this week include Random Commands, Vegan, River Mastery, The Thief, Ash's Lament, NPC Killer, Mage's Gambit, Vivi's Lament, Potent Espers, and No Toys. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, that is 15 cards total for our Lagomorph Lounge. Starting off the new cards, Random Commands has characters start with random commands with potential duplicates. Vegan means no EXP eggs will appear in the Colosseum, auction house, shops, chests, or events. River Mastery adds the objective to learn 8 blitzes by completing the lead river check. The Thief ensures one of our starting characters will always be Locke with Steel. Ash's Lament means support magic spells can no longer be learned from natural magic, espers, equipment, or objectives. NPC Killer means pressing Y while facing an NPC sprite will remove that NPC. Mage's Gambit adds the objective to grant all characters plus 20 magic power by completing the Win the Colosseum match quest. Vivi's Lament means black magic spells can no longer be learned from natural magic, espers, equipment, or objectives. Potent Espers means each Esper teaches 3 to 5 spells. All Espers have a random stat bonus. Summons cost 50 to 80% of their original MP cost and can be summoned multiple times per battle. Interesting note for this group of cards, Ash's Lament and Vivi's Lament limiting support magic and black magic makes these Espers a little less potent. Espers can only teach white magic to our runners because of those 2 previous cards, but they do still provide the stat bonuses and can be summoned multiple times. And No Toys means breakable rods, super balls, and elemental shields are removed from the shops. And those are our card draws for week 2. They definitely created some interesting runs in these tables this week. Can't wait to see what happens next week. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow on Twitch to stay up to date with what's happening in the Blackjack Battle Royale. See you guys next time.